Hello from Ukraine. In this video, I want to tell you about men that do the impossible in Ukraine. There are multiple men from different spheres of life that do impossible things in Ukraine that allow us to still survive until today. So I want to start with soldiers. As I said in my previous videos, Ukrainian soldiers, or Ukrainians in general, they can do impossible things, amazing things, at very stressful time with limited resources. In this war, luckily, thanks to God, our soldiers were able to come together and to listen to the commanders. And at the same time, the commanders have in their heart love and respect toward the soldiers, the subordinates. And what you observe in Ukrainian army, the commanders choose to risk their own life to save their subordinates. On the contrary, what we observe in Russian army from intercepted phone calls of their soldiers, we see that the commanders are betraying and threatening their own subordinates. As I made a video before about a soldier who was so disappointed, he ran over his commander with a tank. So in Russian army there's low morale and there's lack of faith in their own army. This gives us an advantage and allows us to do impossible things as we face this huge enemy. As I'm talking, you can see the view of the city because we have nice beautiful spring. I'm nearby a lake, you can see it, and some blooming trees. As I said before, we observe that Russian troops leave their wounded and leave their soldiers behind. This is sharp contrast to the value of human life that we see in Ukrainian armed forces. Also, another person who does incredible things for Ukraine, as I said before, is our president, who values every life of every human being. Every child is counted, every lethality. And when he visits Bucha and other cities or towns, you can see that he, with all his heart, feels the pain of the suffering of Ukrainian people. And him valuing our life and the life of every soldier and of every Ukrainian, it also enables us to unite and to respect the president, and helps us to do the impossible. Other people are typically they are men, other utility workers who do impossible things now at the time of war. These are the people who are especially at regions that are hardly hit by war. They are working to restore, if you lose electricity or heat or water, they are working hard at the danger of their own life to restore it. Because Ukraine is a cold country and is still, until recently, it was very cold and it was impossible to survive. They are aiming for something more than just a salary. They are not searching for fame, because I do not know these people. I do not know their names. Their achievements are praiseworthy. Ukrainian men who do the impossible are the rescue workers who rescue people from collapsed buildings, seek to save life, risking their own life, exactly being at the dangerous area For example, in the largest market in Ukraine, in Kharkiv, Russia started targeting this market. Rescue workers came to save people. Russian artillery again shot at the same point and killed the rescue workers. Other people who do impossible things, risking their own life, are volunteers, men who deliver supplies to areas that are either occupied or blocked. For example, in Chernihiv, there were cars delivering water or food, and these cars were shot and drivers were killed. And just today I'm hearing that buses that were going to evacuate people from eastern Ukraine, they were shot at, and we lost contact with the bus drivers. The vehicles are not armored. They cannot completely armor themselves. Is there any other way to save people from these areas? Also, other men in Ukraine that do impossible things are drivers of public transport. In the past, we would have women drive trams and trolley buses in Lviv. There's nothing difficult, but since the start of war, I noticed that the drivers are men. And by the way, in Lviv, public transport is running. It's running even if there is air raid siren. I boarded Marshutka, yellow bus. During the air raid siren, the driver was stressed out, but he was driving and stopping at every stop to pick up people and to let people off. Basically maintaining the life of the city and enable us to get home to our safety. But now public transport, it stops around 9 p.m. and maybe less transport is running, but still we are able to function. Lastly, this point pertains to men and women. These are people who clean the street. As I told you before, streets in Lviv are spotless. They really clean it up. And I see them in the mornings sweeping. So these people, they do not work for fame. They just work, especially now during war. They do it. They do these heroic acts because this is the right thing to do. And I would just want to point out that this trait is pertaining to Russian and Ukrainian people. Russians also, they will choose to ignore orders so they could do what they feel is right. There is a video of a soldier who disobeyed the orders of his commander, rescued Ukrainian girl and her mother, hit them. They were crying, the commander heard it, started shooting all of them. So mother died, his partner, soldier, died, but he was wounded in the leg, but he escaped with the girl. So he disobeyed his Russian commander because he wanted to save the life of a woman, because they got an order to shoot at the civilians. So these are heroic acts of our men that describe how they do the impossible things that allow us to still be here. Being limited is also good, because if we could, if we were invincible, if we could achieve everything, then it would be not interesting, and life would be not interesting. Nobody wants to watch a movie about Superman who can do everything. Now more than ever, we need to be supportive of each other in Ukraine. And also I want to tell you that we have highly, distinct gender roles. Women do not do the same things that men do. Yes, we have few women in the military, but typically men are fighting, and they send their women actually to the West. And so I think I'm better off. I do not do well with explosions and guns. I'm better off in my room praying, or just just doing my small things than I should be out there at the battlefield. I also have an important role in Ukrainian society. Each one of us has their own role, and that helps us to fit together and to stay strong. So this video just highlights the character of our men and the amazing things they do now, and it is to show gratitude. Thank you for watching this video. Please like it and subscribe to the channel. Bye.